everyone, I am Samyukta Salvakumar, and even though I'm just 10 years old, I'm getting to know a lot about breaking barriers. Whether it's standing up at bullies in my everyday life or finding new ways to protect our planet, I think that even small actions can make a huge difference. I believe that breaking barriers isn't just about the age or size, it's the courage to challenge what's right and inspire others to do the same. Today, I want to talk to you about why it is so important, no matter how young you are, to keep pushing boundaries and make a difference. Have you ever seen a tiny seed cracked through solid pavement to reach the sunlight? It's incredible how something so small can break something tough. That's a bit like breaking a barrier when you're a kid. We might be small, but we can do big things. Do you know that kids around the world in my age are inventing new things, standing up for what's right, and making a real difference? Let's explore about why breaking barriers is relevant to everyone. Breaking barriers means doing things that people say you cannot do because of who you are or how old you are. For example, if someone says you're too little, you cannot play that sport. You practice hard and show them that you can play the sport as well as anyone else. Do you think we have to consider rules while breaking barriers? Ethical considerations. Ethical considerations are really important when we challenge norms and overcome obstacles because they help us to do things the right way. When we try to change something or do something new, we have to think about how it might affect other people or even the world around us. Couple of scenarios that I can think of are: if we want to invent a new gadget, we have to think about where the material comes from and if it is good for the environment. Or if we want to stand for someone who is being treated unfairly, we have to do it in a way without making the situation worse. When we try to change something or do something new, there are ethical boundaries that we have to think about. These boundaries are like lines that we shouldn't cross because they could cause harm or hurt people. What ethical principle comes to your mind when you think about ethical standards? Fairness. One ethical dilemma is that we are being fair to everyone involved. For instance, if we want to change a school rule to make more kids play sport, we have to think of how we can do it without making the situation worse. Maybe we also have to think how it can affect teachers, other students, or even the school itself. We don't want our actions to cause chaos. Another thing to consider is our actions could cause harm. For instance, if we want to stand up for someone who is being bullied, we have to do it in a way. We have to do it in a way without making the things worse. Also, we can maybe try talking to a teacher or finding a peaceful solution, which is better than getting into fight. Ethical considerations also remind us to be honest and respectful. We shouldn't cheat or lie to break a barrier because that wouldn't be good for ourselves and to others. It's important to think about the consequences of our actions and make sure we are doing what's right, even if it is hard. Okay. Overall, when breaking barriers is all about to consider the potential harms and the moral implications. Being ethical means doing things in a way that is fair, respectful, and makes the world a better place for everyone. Okay, let's talk about a situation in which I and my friends want to change the school rule of how to play a game at recess. Right now, only the older kids get to decide the rules, and some of us feel left out, and we don't think the rules are fair. Imagine I am one of the younger kids, and my friends and I want to change this. We think that everyone should have a say in the rules, not just the older kids. So we decided to speak up and ask the teachers if we can have a vote to change how the game is played. One ethical dilemma is fairness. We have to be fair in deciding the rules. But some of the older kids might feel like they've always been in charge and want to stay the same way. We have to make sure everyone feels respected and heard. It's important to consider how we ask for change. We should be respectful to the teachers and the older kids. We shouldn't demand things or be mean to them. We should explain our reasons on why we think the rules should change and listen to what others have to say too. It's important to think about the consequences of our actions. We have to think about how many people can take it and if everyone are okay with the new rules. We have to make sure we can handle disagreements and everyone feels okay with the new rules. It's important to consider how we are. We should be honest on why we want to change the rules. And we just want to do it in a way that's not fair. We have to do it in a way that is honest and make sure we are telling our reasons honestly and listening to others too. In this example, the moral implications and ethical considerations involved are fairness, respect, thinking about consequences, and being honest. We have to think about all of these when we try to break barriers, even when we are just kids. How do you think everyday actions and innovations can uphold ethics and drive a positive change? In everyday context, we witness inspiring instances of individuals and organizations breaking barriers while adhering unwaveringly to ethical standards. Consider the grassroots efforts of volunteers organizing community cleanups and recycling initiatives, fostering environmental sustainability alongside local engagement. Meanwhile, in the realm of technology, innovators are challenging industry norms by prioritizing user privacy and data security in new applications, reshaping standard digital ethics. Healthcare advocates tirelessly advocate for patient rights and equitable access to medical services, navigating bureaucratic and financial challenges with integrity. How about social justice activists? Social justice activists lead by example, organizing peaceful protests and community cleanups, and also awareness campaigns that confront systematic issues like racism and inequality, steadfast in their commitment to nonviolence and integrity. Moreover, entrepreneurs are redefining transparent business practices through many ways, succeeding in business by ethical sourcing and fair pricing, bringing trust and loyalty among consumers. Alright, one buzzword that is making the headlines is AI. Do you know how AI innovations are tied to ethics? The use of AI in artistic creation introduces complex ethical dilemma that challenges traditional ways of ideas and authorship. Recent examples include the recent examples mimic the styles of historical artists and complete unfinished works. One instance involved the creation of a new painting in the style of a famous artist through hundreds of AI analysis of his original work, even simulating the brushstroke with a 3D printer. Another example saw AI complete an unfinished movement of a classical symphony that raised the question about why and how machines should be considered in the role of creative processes. These developments bring into question as who should be recognized as the author of such AI-generated works. Should it be the company that facilitated the project, the engineers who designed the algorithms, the AI itself, or even the original human artist whose style was replicated? These debates touch deeper issues regarding intellectual property, authorship rights, and how society defines creativity in an era where machines can produce original content. The potential of AI as a powerful creative tool suggests that new legal and ethical frameworks are necessary to address shifting landscapes of art and creativity. These frameworks must protect human employers from exploitation and make sure they are adequately compensated and recognized while generating genuine originality and AI generated imitations. This this can this can this this thing of AI can affect the mind of creative exploiters and the artists of new cultural industries can lead to the can lead to new has led to new establishment of new global standards of on AI ethics, which safeguards the cultural value chain and makes sure also protects the livelihood of artists in this increasingly AI influenced world. So, I think I think the responsibility of breaking barriers is about doing things the right way, thinking about others, being honest and kind, doing our consequences, and make sure we are doing what is right. If we do all of these, we can make a positive change. Imagine if everyone, no matter how young or old, decide to break one small barrier today. What difference can we make together? Let's all think about one thing that we can do for a change for the better. Whether it's helping a friend, standing up for what's right, or protecting our planet. Every small step counts. So, what barrier will you break today? Thank you.